Welcome to Communicate Online. Today we're here with our friend who are performing tonight as part of Freshers Week 2012 here at the Queen Market Union. We'll open up with a few questions about your change in lineup. Pat has just joined you. How are you finding working with a band who are such an institution in this kind of music?
To fathom as a 14, 15-year-old queuing up to see it live, you wouldn't have thought it would have kind of panned out as it did. But it's been a bit of a journey, leaving a band and kind of cracking on with normal things in the day-to-day. And once again, like after years, and getting a call was mental. So I didn't think it would happen. Still a bit shocked, but having the best time of my life. The dude's treating me really good, so loving it.
You haven't given worms yet?
No worms. No worms. They're waiting for Christmas.
So how do you think, guys? How do you think the change has influenced the band's sound and live energy?
Sonically, I think the things are a lot more direct, probably a bit more urgent in sound. Even the older songs seem a bit more muscle to the note than what they probably had before. Performance-wise, I think it's just allowed us to kind of kick off a bit more and loosen up and just enjoy the whole kind of thing of playing shows and playing together and stuff and jamming, and from the process of actually playing shows to rehearsing to practicing to even writing. It's been super positive, and it's as if we haven't really missed a beat and things have been taken to a completely new level.
Right, so fans seem to really welcome your return to a heavier sound with your 2011 album, Welcome Home, again, and you have hinted that the new material will be heavier still. Is there a particular inspiration behind this move towards a heavier sound again?
I think that when we were doing Welcome Home again, I think we come to the realisation of what we do best as a band, and what comes most naturally to us is to write sort of punchier, more aggressive songs. So I don't think we've ever really tried to force anything that we've done in the past. Do you agree, Matt?
Yeah, I think for this record we've just kind of really gone back to what drove us to want to be in a band in the first place. I think it is important to kind of fuck you to kind of, I guess, not really rediscover, but to kind of figure out, where your kind of musical influences are, and to be true to that. And I think in terms of this band, I think we're all on the same page with what we like musically, which is, the first time in a long time that we've been able to really say that, to converse with each other, and everybody gets what we're trying to do, so with this, maybe not I don't know if it's a return to an aggressive sound, but it's just definitely taking a more edgier kind of approach and a more direct approach with our music, and a bit more fun with it as well. I think we're being really selfish with the new record, where it's just purely just getting our musical kicks. And I think people are gonna really be surprised by what this new record has in store sonically and thematically. It's going to be a nice surprise.
On that note, I know you've been having a bit of a quieter year working on this album. So is there any news on this album? Like anything you can tell us?
Not really. Not that we're exactly sworn to secrecy, but it's just kind of.
I don't really know what's going on.
News of the record will be pretty much. I think from next month, a lot more stuff about the record is going to be rolling out in terms of what we're going to be doing tour-wise, details about the record, more in depth and stuff. So, as far as what I can say now, it's pretty little to nothing, other than it's awesome.
Super. It has been suggested that the whole reason your sound became a bit less heavy in the first place was to try and put some distance between yourselves and the bands that took heavy inspiration from your sound. Was this ever the case? How do you feel about the bands that have classically taken inspiration from your sound over the course of the decade?
I think that's definitely true. I think that when we started, I think that part of the thing that drew people to us was that we, what we were doing sounded original. And I think that sort of, the whole genre of music that, we were associated with, everything started to sound very similar, and it all became quite stagnant. I think that I think that we've always prided ourselves on being a band. We always want to be, individual and unique, and as a result, try to push, our music in a direction so it's moving away from, I suppose the sound that we had originally created, which other people were copying. I don't know. I think that it's nice to influence bands. Like we've obviously been influenced by other bands growing up, but I don't know.
It's kind of weird thinking of it that it's
So,
still
we've been here that long.
well, yeah, we don't, it's hard for us to even fathom the time frame. 10 years is like, when you say it, it just doesn't feel like that. It doesn't even feel like we've been together for like 3 years, let alone 10. And it's just kind of, it's humbling, I think, to have people come up to you and say that, a record you did or a song you did really kind of influenced them to want to make something with their band or even to start a band or do something. It's crazy when you've got, kids at shows coming up and having a conversation with you about particular songs, but let alone bands that are actually making records, they're actually gaining popularity, they've got huge fan base themselves here and referencing you guys as, it's kind of weird, like
It is really nice when those bands don't sound like our band as well.
Yeah, that's cool, yeah.
Generally that's nice.
Yeah. But it's I guess it just happens, I think, We've been influenced by so many bands and now we know what the people who influenced us must feel like.
Yeah.
You've been dubbed one of the main pioneers of Welsh rock. Wales certainly have a powerful heavy music scene with the likes of Bullet for My Valentine, Pulled Apart by Horses, Through to Of the Left and Skindred, etc. Do you keep up with these bands? Do you have any particular favourites that come under the Welsh rock banner, as it were?
See, for me, I don't, I think the whole Welsh rock thing was always put on Wales due to the fact that at one period of like the last decade that a lot of bands were successful from the area, and I don't necessarily think there's something specifically magical about South Wales in general, or anything, but there's fantastic there's fantastic bands from all over the country that are doing fantastic things, but for me some of my favourite bands from the area are bands that maybe wouldn't even sonically or even, I guess, scene-wise fit in with this whole category of Welsh rock. There's a band that we've played, that we've taken out to play a couple of shows with called Good Time Boys, who we're huge fans of, and they're they're really kind of visceral, really entertaining, really kind of important, like punk band that people should become more aware of. So for me, that's the a group of guys that I'm really stoked to see them get successful.
Yeah, I suppose I think the thing that
I'm interested in bands.
No, but I think that
Feel for a friend.
I think sort of the period of time that obviously the Lost Prophets sort of got signed, and then obviously they did a lot to help a lot of Welsh bands as well. They did, the same as we've always tried to do. We've always tried to take Welsh bands out and tour with us to try and
as long as they're good, not necessarily because they're Welsh.
Of course, but like sort of bands who we're friends with and whose music we like. And I don't know. I just think that I think maybe the fact that the Welsh bands do have a tendency to help each other out maybe is like opened the door for the music industry actually going to the area to look for bands, as opposed to bands having to go to London to go and try and find people from the music industry.
Absolutely. So, what are your opinions on terms like emo and screamo and the negative stereotype attached to them? Do you feel that bands that play your type of music and your fans are too readily pigeonholed?
If it makes people comfortable to call themselves something, then fine, by all means. If you like a band and it makes you more comfortable to like a band by calling her emo, then call her emo if you have to.
It's your right.
Yeah.
It's like at the end of the day, it's like those words can be freely associated to anything. It's like
Surely Bon Jovi's emo.
Well, it's if you
always singing about love, that man is love and emotions.
That's the thing. There's a literal sense of it, and there's an actual proper scene sense of those words as well. And I think I think very few bands that I hear associated with the terms, they don't remind me of any of the emo bands from the mid '80s and the early '90s and stuff that actually were doing something different. sonically within the punk rock kind of thing. So you know, I hear it. I as a band, I think we don't pay much attention to it. You know what I mean? But I guess it's important to audiences and to journalists to be able to kind of, I guess, to market something and sell something.
I suppose I'd rather be called emo than shit.
Shimo.
Shimo. Shitmo.
But well, no, you know, it's quite a broad thing now. There's so many different bands that can be categorised as that. It's hard to kind of feel that it's a valid term. But you know, it's going to be used whether we like it or not. So you know, I don't really care.
Finally, it's great to have you back at the union again. You were here just 4 months ago. Is there anything particular that you like about the Queen Margaret Union? So the atmosphere here, or the stage, or
Yeah, the shows are always cool. I don't like the fridge though, man. That's the longest fridge in the UK.
Yeah.
That's the only downside.
In terms of shows, I think we've, every time we played there, it's been a good laugh and good vibes and.
League from Within are going to come down as well, maybe.
Yeah, no, we got friends around here. They're popping by and hanging out. So it's Scotland's pretty much like a second home.
So what sort of material can freshers experience tonight?
A bit of everything. By the time this goes out, probably everything you didn't want to hear. But no, it's a bit of everything. We're a band that we don't really like to kind of to cause much controversy or distance people who like our older stuff. We like our old songs as much as our fans do. So we just try to make it a very well balanced set list that allows us
Doesn't
to
include anything.
Doesn't
Not
include
tables
anything
of
to tell
memory.
themselves.
Of memory humanity.
But
Well balanced set.
I guess in terms of what people call their best albums. Yeah, it's a set list that'll just basically, like I said, being selfish allows us to rock out and have fun, and hopefully people will have a good time too.
How does it feel best live, I think?
The guys and I were sitting in the office last night coming up with these questions, and one very important particular question came up, and that was the state of modern music it's a very interesting time. What's your favourite kind of bagel?
Whole wheat.
Whole wheat. Yourself?
Peanut butter and marmite.
Is that a bagel or just a flavour you can
Plain
put in a
New
bagel?
York with a glass of water for dipping.
That's what I put in fucking.
This man dips his bagels. That
It
is,
does.
A bagel.
this
No,
man
a bagel.
dips his
Bread.
bagels.
Bread is bread until you
I
put
was gonna
bread in
say.
it.
I was gonna say. What's your favourite beagle? I thought you said it first.
Beagle.
What kind of
Bugle.
Beagle.
Bugles, definitely them happy shopper ones. The BBQ ones, the ones you put on your fingers. Yeah.
Personally, bumblebee was my favourite type of beetle.
Oh, definitely.
John Hennett was my favourite.
Can we get some elaboration on the bagel dipping in water thing? Is there a particular technique for that?
He likes moist bagels.
Just when you're when you live in London, you just dip in anything that's
Safe.
Is it toasted first? Or is
anything runnier than bread, dip it in, crack on.
Right.
Diarrhea.
Diarrhea works.
I think so.
Bread.
That
Bread.
is the perfect way to end any interview.
Pat would dip his bagel in diarrhea.
Pat would dip his bagel in diarrhea.
Dog shit, man.
Dog shit and do shit bagel.
It's been Communicate online and a slight disaster towards the end. Thank you very much, Bruno, for a friend.
Thank you.
We'll see you tonight at the Queen Margaret Union.
Yeah.